Issue 78. We start out with some robot troopers kidnapping a civilian as Eggman starts trying to get the civilians to fear him again. A section house in a poor part of town has prisoners about to be badnikified. Sonic and friends destroy the last of the guards and rescue some civilians, with Amy using her arrow to make the cell door not be a problem anymore. Then Plasma, the master of electrons, shows up, an electricity villain who really likes Team Plasma from Pokemon White. And standing in front of him is all scientists. The two of them are put in charge of the district of Metropolis with a potential reward for them for capturing Sonic. Again, more people who are fooled into thinking Eggman will actually uphold his end of the bargain. They're really desperate. At the very least, this is a very creative film team. Sonic stupidly jumps into the electricity man, but somehow he's only mildly singed from it. He probably has a lot of rings. Then he tries to create a tornado around him to reduce him to pieces, but gets thrown back because, go figure, it's just energy. He has no idea how to fight this guy. This is entertaining. After Amy has good chemistry with Sonic by giving him a pep talk, saying that his enemy was worried for a second, Amy cleverly smashes the device of the scientist, assuming that Plasma was just an energy field he was controlling with the device. I assumed that immediately. Then Amy's nice enough to lie to Sonic that he beat Plasma, and she tells Johnny that it's important for Sonic, the hero Mobius, to get the credit, while she personally prefers to stay out of the public eye. Well, as long as she's okay with it, that's fine, but that just screams creator's pet. Why is it only Sonic of the Freedom Fighters who gets the fan mail? That feels blatantly unrealistic. Everyone else would also have respect. Well, that was just 2 paragraphs. In the next story, Mammoth Mogul, the spiritual leader of the Tantaroar, asks for the idol, which Knuckles shows him. He even talks like Mogul, speaking informally with, "This is most unfortunate." Does he feel sorry for them? Mammoth, the leader with the forgettable name, says that when he activated the idol, he expected to teleport here some 3 other people, the followers of an evil ghost priest that teleported to this world with the idol. Oh, lore! Originality! This is more interesting. The followers thought their leader should have been buried in a sacred monument, and that's why they took slaves to make it. Mammoth, the leader with the forgettable name, says that he'll operate the idol and bring them back to the slave ship. Or rather, he brings back Knuckles, because he's the only one who outright said he cared about saving the slaves. That's smart of him. The story ends with Knuckles being threatened. In the next story, Sonic immediately recovers from the previous attack instead of Tails getting to do something, and Tails, to add insult to injury, almost gets hit by rocks with Sonic having to save him, saying, "Can't I take time out for 5 seconds without you getting into trouble?" Sonic says he's fine aside from a headache, and they get to the edge of a cliff overlooking a river. Sonic tells Tails to fly them along the river, as I wonder if they're gonna make the robot visible by covering it with something. How else would you deal with it? Sonic calls him Pixel Brain and tells him to lower him so he can tread water. Sonic's feet move fast enough to create 2 walls of water on either side of him in a creative use of his powers, though those walls seem very tall for someone without water magic. Right now I'm reminded of when Sonic was traveling it down under in Archie after they got rid of Robotnik, and he did something, I think he spin dashed along the water and it created water surrounding him, like water currents surrounding him. Predictably, the robot is visible because it's got water on it, and Sonic sarcastically calls Tails a mastermind for saying a Captain Obvious thing. Ironic as hell since he is supposed to be a mastermind. Also, Tails should have had a that after now, or a because. Sonic then is even smarter by using a whirlwind of speed to make leaves stick to the robot from the water. Then he guesses that the robot's eyes are obscured by the leaves to blind him, letting him spin dash at coincidentally just the right spot to damage the cloaking device. I really wish it was Tails making those clever plans and not Sonic. It's not like Sonic can never make a smart plan, but it should be Tails most of the time. They briefly attack the robot and it falls into the ocean a short circuit, causing Sonic to say, "Shocking." Reminded me immediately of Scourge saying, "Shocking, positively shocking," when he destroyed a robot like a hero. Then Grimer reveals he can't make an army of invisible combots because he had an accident with the cloaking technology that turned the plans invisible. Somehow this means he doesn't know how to build any more invisible robots. How? Would he seriously forget how to build them? Really? This lame excuse would only make sense if he were intentionally trying to sabotage Eggman, when his whole personality has been a meek coward who probably was only working with Eggman because he threatened him into it. While this is certainly a surprise, and I should really stop saying things come out of nowhere as an insult unless they're genuinely stupid, I'm just glad they explained why Eggman doesn't make all his robots invisible and win. Kind of. That reminds me, in Archie, Eggman could have used roboticized chameleons or legionized chameleons to win effortlessly with an invisible army. So there goes a cool concept that was never used. I mean, you'd think he was legionizing the Lightning Lynx's clan. He went after the wrong people. But I guess Espio's clan was too good at hiding, so he couldn't legionize them anyways. The first two stories are about Nigel Kitchen. The first story, which I was done with in 2 paragraphs, had Sonic and friends defeat an electricity being after saving some civilians, because Amy, for a change, defeated it by cleverly figuring out that it came from a device by an unassuming scientist. And she shows some good friendship chemistry with Sonic, as she gives him a pep talk, and gives him all the credit for the victory to sail the spotlight as she's humble. Great story, as usual. The second story had Mammoth Mogul, the leader of some ghosts, be a good guy who lets Knuckles try to rescue the slaves that were kidnapped to build a monument to an evil priest. It's interesting how they develop the lore on the various ghosts more, which they never really do, even if I don't care about them as characters. And the third story was by Lou Stringer, and had Sonic figure out how to make an invisible robot visible by covering it with water and leaves and then damaging its cloaking device. Which is clever, and I like his creative use of speed, but it should really be Tails making most of the plans, rather than him only being good for flying. Because at that point, they might as well replace him with Charmy or T-Pup or some little helicopter, and the only thing they'd lose is the appeal factor of having Tails around. He needs more than that.